now Zi Jie is going to give the first show and tell in the third. Let's welcome Zi Jie.
Hello everyone. So today I'll be giving you a demonstration of a show and tell which you'll be doing starting from next week if you want. So I'll be presenting show and telling something called a PageRank. So have you ever wondered how Google search result actually rank the lanes wherever you search for a query? Like why does the lane appear on the first one instead of the second or third one? So actually this is due to their algorithm PageRank. So the overview of PageRank is basically an algorithm developed by Google to rank websites. And it's basically a way of measurements to find out how important each website actually is. And it's actually named after Larry Page, the co-founder of Google. So Larry Page, they named after him PageRank. So what exactly is PageRank? So PageRank actually follow a lane analysis algorithm. So lane analysis algorithm basically assign points to each website to actually find out how important each of these websites are. So over here you can see this diagram is actually something called a graph. You will learn about graph later on, perhaps after recess week. So a graph, basically, you need to know about two things about graph. A graph has this circular thing, these are called nodes, and each lines linking between two circles are actually called the edges. So there's also this thing called a directed and undirected graph. Directed graph are basically, you just imagine like you and your friend. If you are a friend with the person next to you, you point an arrow to him. If the person next to you is a friend of yours, that person will also point to you. So it is basically how a graph works. So for PageRank, each nodes or each circle, each entity is actually a web page, while each edges are basically hyperlink linking two pages together. So more edges pointing into a node or more hyperlinks pointing to a website, they will mean the website is of a certain value, of certain importance. So this is actually how the PageRank algorithm works. So I'll basically freeze one screen here, and then I'll be demonstrating to you step by step of how this algorithm actually works. So over here, step one, as you can see, everything here has equal weightage because Google haven't really crawled the website. So all websites of equal importance. So if you realize here, A, B, C, D, each of them will be taking 1, the whole number, divided by 4. So the sum of this whole thing will be equal to 1. So this is actually the step 1 over here. In iteration 0, all websites are given an equal initial value and all x to 1. Then we move on. We'll be taking A as our first node. So in this iteration, we'll be finding out who are the friends of A, who are actually pointing to A. So we found that only C is pointing to A. So we actually taking C's iteration 0 value, which is basically 1/4, divided by 3. 3 is basically the number of outer lane that C has. So this will be the new PR value of A. So we'll be doing another demonstration of B, because B is a little different from A. So we'll be doing the same step. This will be basically A point to B. So we find the number the first iteration of A value divided by the number of outer lane A has, as well as C 1/4 divided by 3. So B is a little different from A in the sense that it has two different nodes pointing to it. So we'll be summing up two values, and you'll basically be repeating this, and that will be the end of iter 1. So we'll be actually repeating this formula over and over again. So Google actually said that it takes about 100 iterations to actually see what you see on Google today, to see the importance of, to actually rank the website. So we are actually repeating this step, and we'll have this final value for iteration 2. So the ultimate picture is that the higher your value, the more importance it is. So over here, as you can see, C is basically the highest one, and it has the highest weightage score. Yeah, so C will be the highest PageRank value, and it will be actually displayed at the top of your Google page if you actually browse this thing. However, does this actually mean that you just need to create multiple fake websites to point to your new website and you'll be ranked at the top of your Google page? that will not be the case because Google actually take in a lot of other factors when they're actually viewing your web page. So these are actually other factors which Google actually take into account. It take into account the importance of the website which are pointing to you. So let's say we just created a new website, abc.com, point to you. They wouldn't really recognize that as a proper website pointing to you. They'll take that as a score, but it'll be a very low score. Whereas another website like perhaps let's say the Straits Times has a link pointing to you. So they will treat that as a higher priority score, and actually your website will have a higher probability of appearing instead. Another thing to take note is that the visibility of link. So in the past, when the internet just started, there are a lot of websites which actually created hidden links in the source code. So what you see is a normal page, but in the source, there's actually like a lot of hidden links so that they can bump up the popularity of their website, so that they can like optimize the search engine result. Google took this into account, so this will not affect PageRank at all. Placement of links also another issue, as well as your search. What you search for also plays a part when you actually search for new stuff. So with that, I will conclude my show and tell demonstration. So hope you have a better understanding of Google PageRank.
Alright, thank you, Toh Zi. Alright, so now you guys get a demonstration of what it means to do a show and tell. So we open it up for your self-nomination.